Hey folks, Jim. Going to do a quick video on what I like to call prepper gold. And it's very cheap and yet will be more valuable than gold at a certain point during SHTF WROL. If the camera starts moving, little Toby's coming. And that is cheap old white rice. Packs well, stores well. Extremely low cost, isn't it? And when it comes to my preps, my tradable preps, see, because I have my preps and then I have trading preps, right? Rice is in my trading prep stuff. Lots of it, actually. Because think about it, when people are starving at that point, right? When there's probably 100 million left, yet there's no food, okay? People will give just about anything for rice, won't they? They'll give just about anything for any food, won't they? So rice is something that's extremely cheap. I got this on sale. Not only is it cheap to begin with, I got it on sale 50% off. It was some kind of sale thing. I got an email, went in and looked. I couldn't believe what I was seeing, and it was free shipping from Walmart.com. This rice was so cheap, I had to buy 100 pounds, even though I don't need it, okay? And then I'm going to pack it today, and while I watch a Netflix movie, because it's raining and we're getting some milk, I'll use my little Linfield that I keep all in the original packaging. The box that it came in is in this box right here. I have everything labeled in my kit, right? And I've got my Linfield. I keep the bag that it came in. I keep everything, and I clean this every time I use it. Okay, I have extra heat rails and all that stuff, and I have oxygen absorbers, and all this kit is ready to go in my prep room. So if I'm doing vehicle bug out, I'll be grabbing this right away. It's very valuable, isn't it? It will be. So oxygen absorbers too are in the kit. Remember, if you use some and you open one of these, you have to reseal it, okay, or this stuff will go bad. Just food for thought for those of you who don't know. Now I use the Linfield sealer. You can use whatever you want. It's not the best, it's not the worst. I just like the way the Linfield works, and they're tried and true for me. They've lasted a long time. This is a new one. It's only 2 years old. My other one lasted a long time. It broke. I bought a cheap knockoff brand. I will never do that again. Got rid of that. That was junk. It was messy. You couldn't even dial it in, right? If you can see this dial, you dial this in to what thickness your bags are and all that. On this Linfield, works excellent. On the knockoff brand, did not work good. But you can do whatever you want. You can get used to dialing that in if you want. But it never seemed to dial into anything, to be honest with you. It would seal bags. It was just a mess. But anyway, at that certain point, you know, gold and silver is a store of wealth. So should economies, nations survive a cataclysmic event or a world economic collapse, and then we rebuild civilization quickly, right? Gold and silver will have value. And it is a good store of wealth anyway. It's a good practice to own gold and silver. 10% of your net worth, many suggest, is what your gold and silver holdings should be. I don't know if I keep it at your house, but, you know, it's a good idea to own gold and silver, right? But this will be worth more than gold and silver in a true grid down scenario after about a week, right? All the food will be gone, won't it? People will give just about anything for food, won't they? So if we have a few 100 pounds of excess rice, we could be some pretty darn good capitalists in those situations, couldn't we? As long as we're not out on a street corner by ourselves trying to do it, because we'll just get mugged and killed. So if we have a reputable group that we're with who's going to be trading as well, and we've selected a location that post-event we'll be trading, you know what I mean? So that will be gold. Rice. Simple, cheap rice. This is Toby. You know, if you haven't met him, he's a blind deaf pug. He's the boss. I'm his human, I guess. And he gets his way, whatever he wants. He's a spoiled brat. But Toby's owner went in the hospital, a friend of mine, and after 3 months, I babysat the dogs for 3 months. And then they were told they were never getting out, so basically they were going to die, and have since then. But these guys, his sister, they're both 14, and she's almost paralyzed, so he's blind and deaf. She's almost paralyzed. I knew if they went to a shelter, the family didn't want them. So since I was already babysitting them, they were used to my house, and this guy feels his way around by tact, you know. And he'd already memorized my place and stuff. I just went ahead and adopted him, because if they'd have gone to a shelter, I think he would have been put down. And he's smart as a whip, and he wants to live, and he's look at him. Anyway, that's Toby. And there's just times that he will not leave me alone, so I have to pick him up, or he'll just keep bothering me through this whole thing. But okay, there you go. Prepper Gold. You know, I talked about food the other day, and I mentioned rice that is 25% of my bulk storage. Absolutely, but you know, I'm not going to say everything that I have, obviously. Not a good idea on YouTube. But this, I can guarantee you, I got enough to make me a really good capitalist. Why? Because it's cheap. That's why. And also, you can get some insects, grubs, ants, crickets, whatever. You get some rice, all you need is water, right? Some heat. You can make fire. You can find water, right? I hope so, or we're all dead, right? And now just go grab some insects. You know what I mean? You got yourself a decent meal, right? Well, most people don't think like that. They don't go hungry long enough out in the wilderness to realize food is everywhere. So we can, you know, if you've done that enough, that's why you don't fear food. Like a lot of people panic about food. I don't. It's everywhere. You know what I mean? Once you get back in touch with the animal side of self, right? That side that is in nature long enough to go hungry. It's like going through a vortex. There's food everywhere. And I wish that more people would experience that and come to know and understand that. It's not a big deal. But for the masses, they definitely haven't experienced it. So food still comes in something and is easy to prepare for them, right? And they certainly aren't going to be thinking about insects for food. But they will be thinking about rice, and they will give just about anything, won't they? Now, some of you may say, well, that's preying on a bad situation. Is it? Or is it just being smart? You know what I mean? And making your own preps better. Now, obviously, I got a lot of extra too, so I can help people out. But just think of it. This will be worth more than gold for a certain period of time, beyond a shadow of a doubt. Gold and silver will have no value at a certain point, but food always will, won't it? For starving people, that's all that will have value at a certain point. Okay, and then, you know, those people will die off and things will kind of adjust again, and then other things will start having value again once there's enough food to go around, right? So anyway, I just wanted to share this. It's something that I think all preppers can do. It's a store of value in an SHTF WRL grid down scenario. You have some real serious value here, some great trading assets, don't you? And then not only that, it's food. Okay, so and it's extremely low cost. These were 50% off these 5-pound bags. I couldn't believe when I saw it. I had to order 100 pounds. I don't need it for sure, but I had to order 100 pounds anyway. And today I'll be packing it with my Lynn and my bags and my Zorbers and everything, and I'll be watching a movie, packing 100 pounds of rice. And that's, you know, that's how I do prepping. I fit it into my life. It doesn't consume my life. But here is a store of value that I don't think a lot of people think about. They pass by the cheap cold rice when in reality it stores so well and packs so well, right? It will be worth its weight in gold when the time comes. It literally will be worth more than gold when people are starving. You know, you can't eat gold and silver. You can eat rice, okay? So that's something to think about. Be wise. Doesn't cost a lot of money to be a sane prepper. And I'm not out a lot of money. Not at the price I paid for this. Not only is this stuff cheap to begin with, it was 50% off with free shipping. It was a no-brainer. You know what I mean? And I got this probably a month ago. It's been sitting in my back room, and I'm only getting to packing it today. Normally I would pack it within a week, but I've got other things going on. It's winter here and things like that, and I just didn't have time or feel like it. So today I'll be set up. I'll be doing my thing and packing my 100 pounds of rice, and yeah, and this stuff's so cheap, folks, it was a no-brainer, you know, to get it. And you'll run across those things. Be patient. Be a hunter-gatherer in your preps. Just because you see something you want, be patient. Wait. It will go on sale probably at the end of the season or whatever. That's how I buy my clothes, right? Today I got on a nice pair of Carhartt, you know, camo pants, right? And guess what? I paid 50% of what most people pay. Why? Because I was patient, waited for the end of the season sale. Now, it's turkey season. I need my Carhartt camo pants, don't I? And I paid 20 bucks. Other people were paying $49.99. Think about it. Okay? All of our preps can be had that way, can't they? Everything we want. If we're patient and good hunter-gatherers, we can save a ton and have really good preps where someone else may have paid 2 or 3 times what we did just by being good hunter-gatherers. As we should in our environment when it comes to survival, so too can we in the concrete jungle. Patience is a virtue that can yield really great fruit. Hope you're all doing well. Prepper Gold, cheap old white rice. Anyway, I hope you're all doing well. Jim out.